If you like the way my hair looks, keep watching because I'm gonna show you how to do it. First, we're gonna prep the hair with Brilliant Damage Control, which is just a heat protectant. And I'm going to basically re-wet all of my hairline because they've already dried a little bit and I don't want them to get damaged by the heat of the blow dryer. Next, for the ends of the hair, I'm gonna use the Smooth Infusion Perfect Blow Dry Spray. I'm gonna spray some of that in my hand. It helps with frizz control and helps protect from heat as well. So I'm just gonna run that from the mids down to the ends of my hair. Now, to give us a little bit of volume at the root, I'm going to use Volumizing Tonic, and that you're just gonna section and spray right at the roots of your hair. Lastly, for volume and body throughout the hair, I'm gonna use Phomollient, which is just a light styling foam. Work that from the roots all the way down to the ends, and that's gonna help give you some volume and hold to your style. So now we're gonna start drying the hairline, and I'm gonna use a Denman brush to get some tension and smooth the front fine pieces of hair. We're gonna start by blowing all of this hair right down in front of your face, and that's going to smooth all those tiny little baby hairs out that are really hard to get smooth if you don't do them right away because they're so tiny. They want to curl up and dry really quickly, and once they're dry, they're really difficult to get smooth. I like to blow all of these little hairs towards the face because it's going to get the most tension on them. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you can start with the little baby hairs and then kind of move backwards, going back and forth like this with the front of the hair is important too because it's going to give you volume right over the center of your head, and that way you can change your part and decide where you want to part it. Once you've gotten that front hairline pretty nice and smooth and you can see it just lays naturally with the hairline and doesn't stick out straight like if you were to use a flat iron. I like to do kind of the whole hairline all the way down into the back because these are the areas that can end up really frizzy and fuzzy and actually make what could be a beautiful blowout look undone and unprofessional. So I'm gonna come in here and grab with the Denman, point the air down and pull. To get that smooth. I'm gonna do that on the other side. And then from here, we're going to rough dry the entire head of hair from the roots because the ends get dry pretty quickly, naturally, and brush everything just one way across the head and then the other direction. And this is going to help smooth the roots of your hair, especially if you have wave or curl in it, and also give you volume throughout. So just point the air directly at the roots. A lot of times you'll just flip your head over and try to dry your hair to get volume that way, but that can end up drying the ends way more than the roots, and then you end up with dry, frizzy ends and still sopping wet roots of your hair. So this is just a little more efficient way to smooth your hair while drying it and get the roots dry, which is the hardest part to get dry and the longest part to dry. We're gonna flip to the other side, do the same thing. Once you feel like you've gotten a lot of the water out, I'll go in with my hands just to feel how damp the hair still is and where I need to focus a little more air to just get the rest of that moisture out of the roots. We'll still want a little bit of dampness in through the ends for when we put the round brush in there so that we can polish those ends and give them a little bend. So now that we're mostly dry, we just have a little bit of dampness in here. We're gonna section our hair out because that is going to help just keep us organized and really efficient and move through the rest of the blow dry really quickly. So I'm gonna take a little clip like this. We'll just start with the very bottom. So I'm gonna go ear to ear and just clip everything else up. I like to hold my hair and then put my finger in and twist it because it usually just keeps it all together. Then I'm just gonna take everything and split it in half and bring it to the front so I can see what I'm working with. Then we're going to take an attachment, a concentrator, and put it on the blow dryer. I'm gonna use an Ergo 53 round brush, so that's kind of a medium size. It's gonna give us a little bit of bend then because of the curve on there. I tell my clients to turn their head so that you can see what you're working with and kind of see all the way roots to ends. Now, my roots are already dry, so that's the best part because then you're not gonna be coming in here trying to get the roots dry with the round brush in it because that can just be really difficult. So I put the round brush right up at the top. I'm gonna focus the air down and then pull down to the ends. So just focus the air down, pushing all those fuzzy hairs down underneath. So you can see down here, all those little fuzzy hairs that are not going to be showing over the top. And that's gonna give you a really silky, smooth look. So not turning the brush or anything, and just getting all the way down to the ends. And then once you get to the ends, that's when you're going to spin the brush. But then you let go of those ends and they're really nice and silky and have that nice little bend on the bottom there. Point the air down, just run the brush and the dryer in the same direction. And then spin once you get to the bottom. Kind of let it cool for a minute and then release. So now you can see how nice and silky those pieces are. A lot of times people focus on the upper part, but then they forget the ends. So then the ends end up being really big and fluffy. And those are almost the most important part. Like even if this was a little more frizzy and the ends were really polished, it's gonna look like a nicer blow dry. So now we're gonna move up to the next section. So I'm gonna drop this, and then I'm gonna go up to like my temples, and just go straight back. So it's kind of like a horseshoe around your head. And then I'm going to clip that up. Now, I'm gonna take everything back here and split it in half and bring it to the front. And then I'm actually gonna bring these to the back. That way I can see what needs to be dried and what's already done. So from here, I'm gonna split this in two and start with the back section. And we're just gonna repeat the same thing. Start the brush up at the root, point the air down, roll at the end, and let go. Same deal here. Roll at the end, and let go. Now we're gonna take the other side, split that in half just for more control. Start in the back. You're just gonna do the same thing over and over and over again. And you can of course take smaller sections if you have more hair than I do. But just pulling everything towards your face because it's easy to reach and you can see what you're doing the whole time instead of trying to put the brush and the dryer behind your head and have no idea what's happening back there. So now we're gonna move up again. I'm gonna take a little section at the top, little mohawk almost. Twist that up. Take all that fluffy hair, split it in half, and then push this stuff into the back. I'm gonna do the same thing, just split that in half, start with the back and work to the front. And sectioning is important just because then you're never re-blow drying hair over and over again, but then missing hair, you know, especially in the back or something that you can't see and not even knowing it. And since you already did the hairline pieces at the very beginning, you're not having to go in with the round brush and try really hard to smooth those out because they're already done and dry and they're laying nicely. All right, now we're gonna deal with the last section, and we're gonna do this a little bit differently. So this is gonna help give you part versatility, so you're not deciding right away having to part here or on the side or the other side. And it's going to give you volume over the center of your head. So we're gonna start sectioning horizontally this way. Instead of pulling everything down, we're going to pull it forward. So I'm going to just section that first back section off and then clip this front piece out of my way so that I can see what I'm doing. And we're gonna take this hair and we can kind of brush through it, and we're gonna actually put the hair over the brush this way, and then we're gonna put the air right here. So I'm gonna put the air here, and then we're gonna actually pull forward, because then we can see what we're doing the whole time, and we're not killing our arms, but we're still smoothing over the top of that hair, as well as creating volume, because if this hair is going to lay back here and we're bringing it forward, it now has to go up and over to lay back. So just get that nice and smooth and dry. And then again, you're gonna roll on the ends to polish those and give them a little bend. And then we're gonna push that into the back. You can see how you've got some volume up in there. We're just gonna keep moving forward, same way. Take another section, clip this out of your way, and then hair goes over the front. Air here, pull forward. And anytime I've taught my clients to do their hair this way, they go from being so scared and feeling hopeless about a round brush blow dry to feeling like they're totally able to do it on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Last section, same exact thing. Swirl on the end, and up and back. My part is naturally in the center, but if you wanted to take and part over here, it's gonna fall nicely with volume on that side. If you want to part over here, it's gonna fall nicely with volume on that side. And then even if you have a cowlick right in the front here, or a growth pattern that goes hardcore one way or the other, when you blow everything down at the beginning like that, it's gonna balance that out and kind of help everything lay neutral. That way you can change your part. So I'm gonna go center. By taking sections like that too, you're taking any layers that you have and giving a little bend to any of those ends. So instead of everything just laying stick straight in one spot, you're able to see the movement through any of those layers that you have. So to finish it, I'm just gonna use a little air control hairspray. It's light hold, and it kind of has like a powdery finish almost. So it's not sticky or tacky. It's gonna keep it very light and touchable. Another thing you can do is if you get a lot of flyaways up at the top, you can kind of do a spritz and use the can to smooth any of those down. Thanks for watching. If you got any value out of this video, be sure to subscribe because I put out weekly tutorials. And if you have any tutorial ideas, be sure to let me know.